Hey there, guys. All right, today we are back with some more history matters, and this time we are answering the question of who were the nerds that opposed German unification, reunification, a short animated documentary. Before we dive in, though, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. Would love to join the Discord. Follow me over to Twitch, and please do go check out the two gaming channels here on YouTube. One is for stream VODs, and then the other is for edited content. And now let's get into who opposed German reunification. My guess is it's going to be the Soviets, the commies. That's really it. Mercedes, lol. Russians, go home. Hi, I can't. Ronald, Renee. That's okay. Let's go ahead and just dive right in.
German reunification is often seen as one of the definitive events that marked the end of the Cold War. Yet, something seldom discussed with respect to German unification is how many people across the world not only opposed a reunified Germany, but did so fiercely. Now, the biggest long-term opponent to German reunification was the USSR.
Yeah,
the
that's
last
the
time
one I got
Germany
right.
had been
That's really the only one that I know. Oh, well, I would say Poland probably is opposed to it. Poland and France are going to be my two guesses as to firm anti-German reunification, just because they don't want to see a strong Germany. It doesn't typically work out well for either of those nations when Germany is united.
whole Great Patriotic War. Every leader of the USSR had strongly opposed any notion of a united Germany, and by the 1980s there being two Germanys was a simple fact of life. So, a quick overview. Germany, since the end of the Second World War, had lost territory and been split into two states. The capitalist Democratic Federal Republic of Germany, also known as West Germany, and the German Democratic Republic, known as East Germany, which was a communist Soviet puppet state. In the mid-1980s, Mikhail Gorbachev became the General Secretary of the USSR, and due to internal economic and social problems, his attention was turned elsewhere. He introduced reforms across the USSR and took a much more hands-off approach to its puppet states in the Eastern Bloc. In 1989, the communist regimes in Eastern Europe started to collapse. As East Germany's rulers began to lose their grip on power, the notion of German reunification was put forward by West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl. Gorbachev was busy trying to keep the Soviet Union together and so reluctantly acquiesced to German reunification. However, it should be noted that Gorbachev was under the impression that a united Germany would leave NATO and become a neutral nation. So, with the USSR's blessing, the primary obstacle to reunification was out of the way, right?
Bald.
Well, no. In the West, support for German reunification wasn't exactly common. The exception to this was the USA, which under President George H.W. Bush was extremely supportive of a united Germany. Whereas in Western Europe, many were suspicious and quite concerned about German reunification.
Okay. So, kind of like what I was saying.
West Germany was already the largest economy in Western Europe, and if it were to incorporate the East, Germany's lead would increase massively. For France, led by President Francois Mitterrand, German reunification could potentially derail his and Kohl's efforts to bring about much greater levels of European integration. As such, the price for France's blessing would be Germany signing up to a brand new European currency instead of continuing with the use of the strong Deutschmark. Italy's Prime Minister, Giulio Andreotti, summed up many people's views quite well when he said, "I love Germany so much, I prefer to see two of them." So in the West, by far the biggest opponent to German reunification was Britain, led by Margaret Thatcher. Thatcher feared that a reunified Germany would economically dominate the continent. She was also worried that Germany would seek to forcibly retake the territories
Fucking ghost Hitler. God damn it.
it had lost after the Second World War. Thus, she petitioned Gorbachev to increase the number of Soviet soldiers in East Germany in order to better resist its reunification.
Margaret. God, I fucking hate that woman so much.
In the end, though, events overtook the politicians, and Germany was, by popular demand, reunited on July 1st, 1990. It was agreed that the current German-Polish border would be permanent, and that Germany would remain a member of NATO, and that East Germany would never host nuclear weapons. And that was that. Just remember that this reunification wasn't without its opponents. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for watching.
Alright, and that was Who Opposed German Reunification, a short animated documentary. I think this was one of their weaker episodes. I feel like there was probably a bit more that they could have gone into in regards to German reunification opposition, especially within the Eastern Bloc and seemingly within the Western Bloc as well, within NATO. I think more could have been said about perhaps Belgium, Netherlands, maybe the Swiss have an opinion. I don't know. Maybe more from the British. More. There was nothing in regards to public opinion. All of this came from the perspective of the people in power, right? Margaret Thatcher, the person in charge of France at the time, the person in charge of Italy at the time, right? It came from figurehead. It came from political leaders. We didn't get a vibe for what was the opinion among the common people, because certainly French people, especially the older population in France, would have, I would assume, pretty strong opinions about German reunification, seeing as they were likely had lived under and either fought against or had to flee France during a certain period of time in which Germany was very strong, right? And united. So I figured they would probably have some strong opinions that I would have been interested in hearing about, and I'm sure we have the sources. It was it was only back in the 80s and early 90s that this was going on, so I'm certain we have that information available to us. So that's a bit of a bummer that we didn't hear about that at all. Or maybe we just don't know. Maybe there was no public, really any strong visceral public opinion one way or the other from people outside of, Germany, outside of the political leadership. I don't know. But that was Who Opposed German Reunification by History Matters. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.